how to play Marksmanship Hunter in the War Within / World of Warcraft in general. So I've been playing Hunter for 20 years now, like since WoW Classic came out. I even wagged school to level him up through the Barons. Let's just take a minute to talk about the kind of play style you're expected to adopt when you're playing Marksmanship Hunter. You're going to be at the edge of the team fight, you're going to be running away a lot, and you're going to be doing big chunky bursty damage at the right time after landing important CC. So if you're in the mood to go full zug zug and just dive into a team and start spinning, Marksmanship Hunter isn't going to be for you. They're quite technical, there's a lot that can go wrong, and you can get insta-gibbed like if you're not careful. But if someone gives you freedom or they can't capture, you're an absolute menace and you cannot be stopped. Let's start with the talents. So you've got two builds. You've got an AoE Battleground Blitz kind of build, which can pull up some disgusting numbers and you can literally just one-shot a group of people. I got some absolutely disgusting clip in Warsong Gulch where I attacked the flag carrier with my Salvo Sentinel build and I literally AoE down like 4 people. It's ridiculous. Like, trick shots are bouncing around, explosive shots are popping off, like crazy clip. But that's the potential, but it's ridiculously hard to like actually successfully pull it off. But it is an option for your big AoE Battleground Blitz kind of builds. The other one that's more reliable, so you want to be using this in for like arena and important Battleground Blitz games where you're not against like lemmings, shall we say. So with the Salvo Sentinel build, you want to be Sentinel, the one with the owl that spits out all the arcane stuff. And for the Wailing Arrow build, you want to be the Black Arrow Dark Ranger build. So find it on Icy Veins, just go on the latest one, type in PvP Marksmanship Hunter, either use the Wailing Arrow build if you need it for like strong single target and surviving and just putting pressure down, but if you want some AoE fun, use the Salvo Sentinel build, or the AoE Salvo Sentinel. I call it Salvo Sentinel Sniper because it sounds really cool, and well, that bleeds into the PvP talents now, doesn't it? So for me, I only care about blowing people up. So my talents are Sniper Shot for the aesthetic, for the cool moment, for the clip. Like, I adore Sniper Shot. It's probably my favourite ability in the game. And then in the past, I've gone like a bit defensive after that. So I'll get like the fake death thing, which makes you take 90% reduced damage. But I'm like, you know what? I don't even care. I don't even get touched because I position myself properly. So it's all about positioning with this character Marksmanship. And I've decided now to sack off all my defensive PvP talents and I just get ultimate power combo. So I go with the True Shot Mastery one, which instantly gives you like charges of stuff and also reduces the cooldown of it. I take Sniper Shot and I take Chimeral Sting because it gives you a silence, it gives you a slow, it's really powerful, really strong. So those are the 3 PvP talents I take. If you're in an arena situation, or you're in a sweaty pre-made, or you've got high rating Battleground Blitz, you might want to take these like defensive options. So go for the fake death one if you're struggling, and it's up to you. Like for me, Sniper Shot, I adore it, but I recognise in arena, Sniper Shot isn't the best. So it's up to you. You've got to be flexible for your play style and what game mode you're playing. While we're talking about being flexible, we should go into gear and stats and trinkets. So for me, I always have the 2-minute insta-CC breaker trinket. I feel like that's just standard for everyone. And then it's up to you what you take for your second trinket. You do need to get a PvP trinket for the set bonus, but it's up to you whether you get Battle Masters, which gives you a chunk of health. There's one way you just get procs if you don't want to press a button, or there's one way you can press a button, it'll do even more damage, but like I say, you've got to press a button, it's annoying. So it's up to you what kind of vibe you're after. If you notice you're dying a lot and you're not getting your CDs off in time, maybe get your Battle Master out to just give you an extra like couple of seconds to give your healers to save you. I used to do that like at the start of my PvP journey that I relaunched a couple of years ago. I rocked Battle Masters for the first season because to me it's more important to survive. It's always more important to survive. So, but my positioning is so good now, and my gear, I'm not chasing gear, do you know what I mean? The way this expansion is now, it's dead easy to get full gear and be on the same playing ground as everyone else. In past expansions, I've always joined late, I've not played very much, so I'm always on this uphill battle facing players that have more gear than me. But that's not the case this time. So I've sacked my Battle Masters off, and then, yeah, I'm not going to lie, the proc one is more me. Like, I'd rather not press a button, but I can see the power in pressing that button because it makes your burst stronger than just the proc, and it's more reliable. So the stats and gear you're after, they also need to be flexible. It's going to depend on your play style, and it's going to depend on how your character's feeling in the game mode you're playing. So for example, at the start of the expansion which we're in now, your haste feels really low, so everything is just dead sluggish. It takes ages to get casts off, your GCDs feel like forever, landing traps is hard because you're waiting so long. So I'd say boost up your haste till everything feels fast enough where you can play comfortably. Then you want as much versatility as possible, which you can't really help. You're going to get that off PvP gear. And then between mastery and crit, I prefer mastery because it gives me more range and more damage. So if you're up for crit, like, I don't know, you could go for crit if you want, if that's what you feel like you need. But it's more like, do I want to fire faster or do I want to do more damage? For me, I want to fire faster, then I want a longer range, and then I'll start caring about crit once all that's sorted out. So for me, it goes versatility, haste until like 20%. Then I'll put as much as I can in marksmanship until crit starts feeling like I'm not critting anymore. Then I'll put a few more pieces in crit. So you've got to be flexible, play the game, assess your gameplay, like, what do I feel like I need here? Do I need to hit harder? Do I need to fire faster? Decide what you need, what are you lacking. In terms of races, my favourite for a hunter on the horde side is an orc because they get the stun reduction and they get some boost to the pet, and Blood Fury is a great little booster to tie into your Rage Coolies macro. So, for example, when I pop True Shot, whatever it's called, my True Shot Coolies, it also pops my Orc Racial Blood Fury, and it also pops my PvP trinket. So one button pops 3 things, and then I just go like maximum Zug Zug. If you're Alliance, the Night Elf will just always be superior. Shadow Meld is insane. You can maybe go Human because they get like the trinket, so you can get like extra damage for more burst, but Shadow Meld is just too OP to pass up. And Night Elves do front flips when they're running away, kiting and jumping. Like, the aesthetic for a Night Elf Hunter is peak. If I could, I'd be a female Night Elf Hunter, but I like the Horde and I like Zug Zugging as my Orc. But, do you know what I mean? Orc for Horde, Night Elf for the Alliance for me. In terms of, let's say you're in a battleground, the composition you're looking for, if you want to queue with like a mate, a healer would be good, or someone that'll take aggro off you or can peel for you. So if you play with like a Death Knight or a Warrior or a Paladin, someone that can just run into the Death Ball and survive for 30 seconds on their own, that's perfect for you because they'll be a massive distraction. No one will like come after you on the outskirts of the battle. You can just pop all your coolies, throw your snares in there, and just go absolutely mental. And then same again, if you've got a healer, they can just pocket you because healers are the most broken thing in World of Warcraft. Like, I'm gonna do a whole like tier list of your class versus my class for Marksmanship Hunter, like S tier. Would I fight you? No. And basically every healer, I just don't even bother fighting you because they're impossible to kill. Like, you just cannot kill a healer. You've got to CC them, you've got to run away from them, you've got to go be important somewhere else. If there's a big team fight happening and there's just like healers pumping loads of stuff into the other people, you can't really do anything. You're just doing DPS and you're not doing anything. You need to be getting kills and getting important like things done. So don't be tempted to just zug into a healer that's just, do you know what I mean, he's distracting you. Like, yeah, it can be good to keep that healer engaged. Like, if that healer's just focused on you and him, he's not healing his team. But if you've been on this healer for 5 minutes and that's a noob healer and you're a good player, you would have got more value going around the map, fragging, stealing bases, being a better nuisance than just like keeping this healer busy. So whenever you're in a battleground, it's like, are you getting the max value out of your skill and time? If you're just zug-zugging, maybe you'd be better off capping. Same again, like, it depends, you know what I mean? For your playstyle and rotation, I did just do a video on this like a day or 2 ago, so go check that out if you want to watch it properly. Maybe I'll cut it into this video. But essentially, what I like to do is position yourself at the edge of a team fight away from everybody. You want to deter the DPS from spending 2 gap closers to get to you. Because when they do spend those 2 gap closers to get to you, You then turn into kite mode instead of turret mode. They've already wasted 2 gap closers. You've got all your snares, your traps, your pet, your intimidate, your scatter arrow, bursting shot, high explosive trap, blah blah blah. You've got all of that to then kite this person that's chasing after you. And you've got so many tools in your kit. If you've got 2 Zug Zug DPS chasing after you, you can absolutely finesse that fight. You take 2 people away from the team fight, and you can sometimes win as long as they're not the best players in the world and you play it properly. So don't start the fight. You're waiting for a teammate to dive in there, take aggro and be a distraction. Then when you can see your opening, you're not going to get ganked and destroyed immediately. That's when you start unleashing your ridiculously powerful, super long-range sniper combo. So I'll position myself out of range, where my abilities are literally red, but then I know Sniper Shot has still got like another 20 yards on that. So what I'll do is I'll charge Sniper Shot when all my other abilities are out of range. Then I'll go straight into Aim Shot, Rapid Fire, Explosive Shot if you've got it, Black Arrow. If you've got Black Arrow and Explosive Shot, get them off immediately, like before you do anything. So for example, Sniper Shot, Explosive Shot, Black Arrow. Then you want to do Aim Shot, Rapid Fire, Kill Shot proc, and then you kind of just keep spamming out whatever strong abilities you've got after that. And then once you've like dumped your main majority, that's when you pop your super rage coolies. So Bloodlust, True Shot macro, and then you get the reset on all your aim shot and everything. Unleash on them again, bam, 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 get your procs out, and by that time, you'll have won the team fight. The amount of damage you're pumping out in that time is absolutely insane. Like, you'll be literally killing people in 5-10 seconds. So if you're the AoE Salvo build, you can extend the range of Salvo volley combo with your Sniper Shot. So there's a disgusting clip of me on Silver Shard Mines where I'm on the top shelf getting the Bloodlust buff, and I literally Sniper Shot Salvo the ground from like 60 yards away. It's absolutely insane the range you can get on it. And we're still only early in the expansion where Master It isn't that great yet. So your rotation for the AoE Salvo build is you want to get that volley Salvo combo off straight away. So I'll Sniper Shot, Explosive Shot, volley Salvo on as many of them as possible, and then you can like just like start blowing them up then. The thing you need to know about volley and Salvo is they grant you trick shots for 6 seconds. So that's why we fire the Explosive Shot first before we fire volley, because in that volley window you have to get off 2 aim shots and 1 rapid fire before it ends, because it starts AoEing, it starts bouncing around people, and it starts absolutely wombo comboing. Then after your wombo combo has gone off, everything will either be dead or your team will have lost and they're all going to be chasing after you. So now it's time to go from turret mode into kiting professional mode. So there's loads of tips and tricks here. You need to bind WASD, like your A and D. You should run sideways at full speed rather than keyboard turn with A and D. So you need to get used to like running sideways where you can shoot players, but you're also running away from them. You need to get used to jumping, spinning your mouse, shooting them, landing on the ground, running in the same direction, and keeping that momentum. Jump, turn, fire. Jump, turn, fire. And you need to keep like running away, firing, running and gunning essentially. And then you've got the whole pet management side of this. Oh my god, the pet management in this game can be infuriating. So first of all, you need to get a pet that has the mortal wounds effect. So for me, I've got a raptor called Zug, and whenever I put him on someone, he gives a 50% healing reduction buff. So that's your priority. You also need to get yourself a hunter pet that can pop Bloodlust in case you don't have like someone on your team that's pressing that button, because a Bloodlust at the start of a fight in a battleground will literally win you the game. So make sure you're getting your Bloodlust buff out. If you want to get really sweaty for Arena, I actually lost 1 game in Shadowlands because of this. You need to get an undead raptor that has mortal wounds, because if you get an undead version, they can't be polymorphed. Like say, I lost a game because my pet got polymorphed in one of the games, and I just don't like the aesthetic and the look of the undead raptor. But just know it has cost me 1 game. If you're getting really sweaty, like every little helps. So let's talk about macros and settings. We're at the end now. When I was talking about doing the little kiting tricks, like A and D need to be full speed running sideways rather than keyboard turning, that also goes without saying that don't be a clicker. If you're clicking your abilities with your mouse, you're slower than every other PvPer and you're just going to get steamrolled. Spend some time, set up your key bindings so they feel ergonomic and they feel right for you, and make them bleed across all the characters. So for example, Shift E makes all my characters run fast. Shift Q is always a defensive on one of my characters. Shift F or F is always like my execute or my kill shot, blah blah blah. You get the idea. So you need to assign keybinds that work across all your characters so it's easy transitions. And then when it comes to actually creating macros, like I'm just gonna have to do a quick video showcasing them all and you just have to copy them down because macros break constantly. Every time I come back to a new expansion, all my macros break. But you need to create mouse over macros. So let's say you're firing on a DPS and you can see a healer over there channeling a heal. You can have it so you don't have to deselect the DPS. You just move your mouse over the healer and you can stun them, set your pet on them, do whatever. It's called a mouse over macro. So for every ability on my board, I have a mouse over macro so I can like finesse and do more DPS over time. Wire up all your pet abilities into easy macros as well. So for example, Roar of Sacrifice stops people critting you. And in order to do that, you need to make a macro where you press a button, it targets you and it uses it. Because when you're in the middle of a fight, if you press that button without a macro, it doesn't do anything. You have to click your own bloody character and then do it. It's just in a team fight, that is not going to happen. It's too cumbersome, it's too annoying. The same with Master's Call, but this one's even worse because when like you have to do /cast instead of /use when it comes to Master's Call. If it's not working, it's because it's /use instead of /cast. But yeah, the same for Master's Call. You need to wire up Master's Call, so you press one button, your pet targets you, and then it applies it. You need to get a camouflage macro that makes your pet drop aggro, and you drop aggro so you can like insta-stealth. You need to get a pet management macro which turns one key into revive pet and mend pet depending on the status of your pet. So that saves a keybind as well. You can insta-cast things you place down, so flare, traps, things like that. Instead of like getting the reticle, so for example Shift X is binding shot for me and that puts like a green circle on the ground and then I have to click it to activate it. But there's a way you can do it so it just throws where your cursor is no matter what. So it's like an @cursor command. So for me, my freezing trap is so important that I don't need that extra left click because it delays me like a millisecond. So I put my mouse where I want the trap to go, I do Shift R and it instantly throws it out without putting that annoying green circle down, slowing me down. So everything is just, all my abilities, all my macros, they're fluid, they don't feel clunky, and once you do get used to them, it's night and day, you can never go back. So I need to do the same now with my arena partners. You can like set macros up to target arena partners so you don't have to like target them awkwardly like the Master's Call and the Roar of Sacrifice. You can like bind it to party member 1, bind it to party member 2, party member 3, blah blah blah. So you have 3 separate keybinds, but each one protects you, protects your mate, protects your healer. So if you want to get really sweaty for arena, you should probably start doing that. And there you go, I've waffled long enough. There's a load of information in here. Anything you're confused by, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll try help you out. I've just made a guild on EU Dragonblight. It's called Battle Babes, which also promotes my Steam game. It's free to play. Go check it out. There'll be a link in the description down below. If you like Hearthstone, you'll like Battle Babes. But then I also made a guild for mostly PvPers. If you're on EU and you want to queue with me, want to play with me, join the guild and we'll have some sessions, do you know what I mean? I've just got a comment asking about that, so literally yesterday I made the guild. So hopefully I'll see you there. Love you all, hasta la vista, peace.